Hi, my name is Jen Delaney, and I am a teletherapist working out of Boulder, Colorado. Please subscribe to my videos so I can grow my channel. I offer insightful videos that engender serenity, freedom, and joy. Or check out my website at jenniferdelaney.com. So today's topic feels very important to me because I feel like we're in a time where we feel very threatened, and that's going to bring on the survival brain. And the survival brain, because of our negative bias, tends to want to be the stronger brain that hijacks the learning brain. There are other ways that we conceive of this opposition in our brain, which of course is conceived of different parts of the brain. But there's a creative versus a fearful brain, or a kill versus peace brain. It's just coming out, especially right now, whether people believe that you need to be vaccinated or that you shouldn't be vaccinated, or the recent political climate is creating a separation, a division. And the more we go into worst case scenario, the more we make that real, because we're just, I don't know if you've had one of those little cars that you keep revving up the wheels until you let it go and it climbs the wall. But that's what we're doing to our nervous system. We're going into this place of hypervigilance, black versus white, polar thinking. And then there's no creativity, there's no gray area, there's no negotiating, there's no listening and hearing and acknowledging, because we're different. We're different. We're going to have different viewpoints. But especially if there's an us and them, a right and wrong, if there's two sides, there's going to be a separation. And it's going to make people so scared. I hear things like, I don't know, people I once trust, I can't trust anymore, or I feel betrayed, or I don't know who to trust. I mean, I think about World War II and what was going on in Nazi Germany, whether people were Lithuanian refugees like my mother, or whether people were Jewish. I mean, the kind of terror that was going on when suddenly you couldn't trust your neighbor. Okay, we're not having fighting right outside our door, but we have to realize that that's our mind thinking that. We can often think, I know who that is. That's my boss who's criticizing me. But the body's going into life or death. That's where the body goes. It's not negotiating or in gray area. It's going, oh my God, I'm going to die. So this is why we have to spend time in mindfulness and in vagus nerve exercises. If you don't know what that is, check it out on my website, or read a book by Ariel Schwartz, the Complex PTSD Workbook. But really beginning to understand exercises that physiologically override anxiety, because our body's going to a place that's making us sick, and it's getting itself so revved up that we can't even, we just feel a little bit lost in the felt sense in the body of how out of control this is. So we have to do exercises to help our brain know that we're going to be okay. We can negotiate, we can speak to people, we can figure out who's not in primal brain. Whoever's in primal brain isn't going to negotiate with you, isn't going to hear you, isn't going to acknowledge you. You can defend yourself until the cows come home, and they will attack. So we want to pick and choose who we're around, and in the meantime have great understanding for what's happening in all of our brains, so that we can start to help our bodies, and so that we can start to have some sense of union and unification and conversation and listening. So I'm very passionate, you can tell, about this, because I believe this is saving our species. We're going to annihilate ourselves if we all end up in primal brain and hypervigilant. It's going to be an us versus them, take them down. And there's not going to be any understanding. And when we soften up, you might have noticed that if you're even having an argument with someone and you suddenly hear them be vulnerable, and then you feel vulnerable, and then things settle down and you begin to realize, whoa, where was my mind? Where was my brain right there? I was really overreacting. And that is trauma, that's hypervigilance, and we all need a little help in this regard, a little more self-compassion, self-care, resourcing. Listen to things on YouTube that calm you down. I have a really good visualization that helps calm the nervous system. So we don't want to make death real. We don't want to make this kind of thing real. It's an illusion that wants to take us down for whatever reason. We want to make peace and love and kindness real. We want to embody that. We want to model that. And the only way we can do that is if we're starting to really calm the nervous system down. So I hope this has been helpful for you. And you can watch some of my other videos for more insights. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take good care today.